But first, let's meet with Angela Chee, an award-winning television host, reporter, and motivational speaker, as she shares with our host Melody Tao her insights on the topics of the diversity in media for Asian women and how she's helping others to find their own voices.
Angela Chee of Zen Media Inc. helps other people communicate their story. As an anchor and reporter, she's taking her experience to now help other people be more effective in promoting their business, themselves, and their brand. I'm so happy to introduce someone who's inspired so many people to shine in front of the camera, Angela Chee. Thank you so much for joining us, Angela.
Thanks so much, Melody, for having me.
So I know your background and upbringing has a lot to do with where you are today and how you became an anchor and reporter. Tell us more about that.
Well, my parents immigrated from Taiwan in the 70s, and we talked a little bit about that. I think that's why I always felt like I needed to share my voice. I think as Chinese immigrants, you come to this country and you try to build a better life. And I think at points they lost their voice so they could fit in. They didn't want to rock the boat. And ever since I was little, I always felt that there was more. And I think that's why I love the medium of television. It has such an impact and allows people to share their message. And so that's why I went into television, not necessarily just to be on TV, but I feel like it really has an impact.
Tell us about how you actually got to be on air and got the chance to be an anchor and a reporter.
Yeah, I almost didn't do it because I talked myself out of it, taking the safe route. And 2 years into working at behind the scenes at Paramount Pictures and Entertainment, I said, you know what, now or never. So I worked 5 days a week in Hollywood and then 2 days a week on the weekend in Palm Springs, my first on-air job. And then I worked my way up from small markets and eventually back to my hometown in LA, which was the #2 market. And that was like a major accomplishment for me. And, I worked really hard for a really long time. And to have my parents be able to see me on the news and see what I had worked for was very important to me.
Growing up, were you always very outgoing, or at what point did you know that you wanted to be in front of the camera?
I actually was pretty shy growing up. I was your typical Chinese girl with glasses. I have contacts now. And I didn't really know. I think when I got into junior high, I became a little more outgoing and I entered speech competitions. I really liked drama and I kind of grew into myself. And I think that's what people need to see. It's not always about, for me, being on TV or being famous or being in the spotlight. For me, it was really about sharing my voice. And I think that that's what allowed me to be able to break through that barrier, was saying that, you know what, I have something to say and I'm here to say it.
And that kind of leads into my next question about where you are today. So now you're taking all this great experience and really helping other people put themselves out there, shine in front of the camera. How did you transition to really being this person that's on air, on camera, to now kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, well, I still do some on-camera work. I work with NBC7, but I don't do news full-time anymore. After I had my first child, it was just interesting. I took a step back and I really focused on being a mom. And now I'm an entrepreneur and I love the freedom and the challenges that it gives me, the opportunity to create my own schedule and my own mission. And I've taken all the experience that I've had through the years. And it's been a hard road, and a wonderful road of experiences in the media. But I feel like being an entrepreneur and being able to help people find their voice and share their mission with the world is amazing. Well, with the media training, basically, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that maybe they launched their new product or they're ready to be an expert in their field and they just don't quite know how to get it out there. And with my experience, I've interviewed hundreds of people. I've looked at different press releases, and a lot of them go in the trash. So I basically teach people how to bring out their own voice, share their story, package it so it's media friendly, and then help them break through the barriers and help them shine on camera. I'm now in a space where I want to tell good stories. I want people to share their stories. There's so many wonderful stories out there, entrepreneurs that have so much to give, and I want to be able to give them the tools and resources to be able to say, you know what, this is my moment. I've worked hard for this, and I want to share it with the world.
So how did you transition from being kind of this type A personality that's really out there to being, a Zen personality, helping people be more Zen themselves?
Yeah, I definitely was a type A overachiever. I feel like ever since I was young, I was always like, oh, what's my next goal? What's my next goal? And I think it's good to be that way. But after I had kids, I realized that you can't always control everything. And I've started on this Zen journey in the last 8 years of really discovering who I am and to be more at peace of wherever you're at. It's not about if you're a news anchor or you're running a company or whatever you're doing. It's like, who are you as a person? And my children really taught me that because it's not always so Zen as a mom. And I try to put that into my business. And it's just through the years of reading and soul searching, I feel like it's really important to be present with who you are, what your story is, what you believe, and what do you want to put out into the world. And I think for business, it's not always about being Zen, it's about being prepared. And I give people the tools and the information that they need to feel prepared, to know what their story is, to know what they believe in, so they are ready for any situation. And that's where the Zen comes in. I think when you are ready for a situation and you know what's going on, then you can be at peace with your story and be able to get your message out there.
In addition to coaching people, I know you do a lot of public speaking and you help groups kind of understand how to find themselves and be more Zen. Tell us more about your speaking and how you've used that for your business.
I love speaking for like different young organizations. I talk about breaking through your cultural barriers and your stereotypes. I've spoken at a lot of Asian organizations, and I feel like that is such a great time because I've been through the spot where they've been, where you're trying to figure things out and not quite know where you stand. For entrepreneurs and businesses, I talk about my journey from going from a TV news anchor to an entrepreneur and the struggles and the transitions that of running your own business. And so just I think by sharing your story, even though it's not about I know everything, I'm not necessarily the expert, I love speaking because I share my experiences, and I think they're common experiences that other people go through. And I think by seeing other people's challenges and achievements, it can help them grow as well.
Angela, I feel more Zen after interviewing you today, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
If you guys want more information on hiring Angela, go on zenmediainc.com. Signing off, this is Melody Tao with Asian Voices.